August 28th, Pine-Richland School Board meeting. Please stand with me to do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ms. Williams, roll call, please.
Dr. Banyas, Ms. Dawson.
Here.
Mr. Sundo.
Here.
Mr. Kashani.
Here.
Mr. DiTullio.
Here.
Ms. Goebel.
Here.
Ms. Johnston. Mr. Lyons. Mr. Stegman.
Here.
Thank you.
I would like to just make a brief statement that Dr. Banyas, who's the president, is not here this evening, so I am honored to step into his shoes after he has never really missed a meeting, maybe one. So you know it's a very special day when Jeff misses a meeting, and I am just pleased to announce that he's the proud grandfather of a grandchild that his daughter is a Pine-Richland resident, so we're happy to greet a new member to the Pine-Richland community. And with that said, we will move on to recognition of visitors. Any visitors, if you'd like to make a statement, please come forward and state your name. Any? State your name, and we like to keep the comments to 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Yeah.
Hi, my name's Afka Loney. Live in Valencia, Glasgow Road. And I just want to thank all of you. You've done a great job. Very thankful to have you on the board. There's been a lot of things going on in Pine-Richland, and we keep track of it. All our kids are now gone, but they're all doing awesome, and we love living in Pine-Richland. My biggest concern tonight is the fact that our taxes were raised. And being on the board for 4 years, I understand, and it was a volatile time then, a little different with Peasers and everything like that. And that's when we introduced a lot of different alternative revenues and things. And although I understand that this is for capital investment to take care of the buildings and everything, I just don't understand the necessity of it. And simply because historically when we were on the board, we knew there that budget, and I just wonder if all of us or all of you had taken the time to consider the alternative revenue sources. I notice that we still have the same alternative revenue sources that we've had since I've been on the board, and those were new then. And I just wondered, was there enough time looking at where the expenses were or are to determine, is there different ways to raise money other than raising taxes? And it's very difficult when being in the world of business and everything like that, when you know you've got a hard line on your own budget, but then you have to pay more out on a tax. It's very difficult. And so I'm just coming here tonight and just challenging you, each of you, those especially who have businesses, if you did the due diligence that was necessary to raise the tax millage in our area. And I'd like to challenge you again to continue to look for alternative revenue sources, because they're out there, and just and try to find them prior to determining on raising taxes next time around. And I know that a lot of people, especially the elderly, those who don't have kids in the school district anymore, and those who are on a very strict budget, would really appreciate that.
Thank you. Would anybody else like to approach the board? Okay, seeing that there is none, we will move to staff and student recognition.
Thank you. Just wanted to officially recognize senior Troy Rowlands, who's been selected to represent not only Pine-Richland but Pennsylvania in the National Association for Music Education All-National Honors Band, November 25th through the 29th. He qualified through audition and participation in the PMEA program, and he is the only second Pine-Richland student in 20 years to be recognized on a national level. So congratulations to Troy and the band directors. Also an exciting game if you caught it on ESPN or in person on Sunday. Just wanted to give a mention that Pine-Richland beat Wayne 41-0. I'm sure you've seen it, but also ESPN crew was very gracious to PRTV students with a behind-the-scenes look under the direction of Steve Karpinski, Bill Clack, and Aaron Kohler. So they had a chance to actually see the production and help out and talk with the announcers.
Thank you, Mrs. Hathorn. Correspondence, Barb?
The board received a letter from the Pennsylvania Department of Education acknowledging receipt of the PlanCon Part K project refinancing, PlanCon Part K Series 2017 bond.
Thank you. Item 1.05 is a motion to approve the meeting minutes as attached.
Second.
The motion has been seconded. Is there any discussion? No discussion. All those in favor? Yes?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Strategic planning update, Dr. Miller?
Thank you. So just a few announcements about the start of school. It's something that we look forward to. I mentioned this to the board. As educators, we are very fortunate to work in a profession that has an annual beginning and an end. Not all businesses, not all professions have that. And there is an excitement that comes with the start of the new year that really begins in the beginning of August. So in addition to the athletic game that Ms. Hathorn mentioned, we also had a marching band of 244 students. We had tents set up this weekend with booster and community groups who are here to, again, raise awareness to their activities, to try to fundraise, to support the activities of our children. We started with our faculty coming back last Monday, and it's a part of the school year that I value so much, to have all 500 staff members in one place in order to set the foundation for the year, to reflect on the good work that's been done, but also to challenge ourselves and each other to continue to improve. And I believe that that is a value of continuous improvement that our staff is embracing, and that individually and together we're continuing to try to improve what we're doing. Dr. Banyas spoke on behalf of the board, and it was powerful to hear the emotion and meaningfulness that Pine-Richland as a school district and community has provided to him, not only in his role on the board, but also in his role as a parent and in his family, daughter making a decision to live in this community. He expressed those. I don't know any of the speeches before I hear them, and he expressed that, and I'm not sure even how much of that was planned. I didn't discuss it with him, but rather I think he was impacted by the sounds and sights of what occurs in our back-to-school opening. We had the orchestra in the foyer welcoming staff. We had the marching band playing. We had the Air Force Junior ROTC presenting the colors. We had the chamber singers sharing the alma mater with the group, cheerleaders, dance team, etc. We had a video, I'll release it with my September message to the community, that addressed the pride values. So we've spent a lot of time in recent years talking about the mission and vision, the values that spell out the acronym PRIDE of personal growth, resiliency, innovation, diverse opportunities, engagement. We had speakers address each of those values, and then we had a video that we'll publish to our entire community that again reinforce how very important this profession is and how much trust that parents place in the school as they send their children to us every day. We, educators, are human, just like everybody else who comes to us, and it's a challenge to meet the needs of 4,600 students when those needs are diverse. But I could not have asked for, from our staff, a more engaged, focused beginning to the year. And we see that on the first day of school. One of the opportunities I take every year is to try to get into every single classroom, if only for just a split second, within that first day or so of school, to see what's happening, to say hello to staff and welcome them back to the district, and to see the number of teachers, paraprofessionals, secretaries who create a welcoming environment, who are in the hallway visible to help children find their way. And that includes big children at the high school who still don't know exactly where they're going, and they appreciate the help and guidance from adults and from their friends. We're off to a good start. Every year there's a need to set routines and get everybody sort of back into the feeling and rhythm of the school year, and we have been able to make that start. Again, a lot of positive things. Transportation, this has been the smoothest year for the last few years. Again, we not only do we bus, the students within our district, but we bus to about 40 different places outside of our district within 10 miles. All of those schools begin at different times, different start dates, and one of the benefits this year, STA is fully staffed, actually slightly above their target, which not only ensures regular drivers but also substitute drivers, so that we can keep that continuity if and when it is needed. Food service, there's all of that back to school getting in the routine. Mrs. Bucknam and her staff have worked hard to do that. You will hear and see more in terms of RAM meal offerings and some of the scratch cooking and other options that are being presented at all levels of the district. Mrs. Bucknam and her team will be at open house events at the high school, middle school, and Eden Hall to provide food and communication and reminder of applications and other things that help parents know what's available for their children each day. So again, an awful lot of positive things happening. It's true in the fall as it is all year. If you want to, you could be here every night watching or being a part of something. We have so many teams, activities, groups. It's really rewarding to see how this place not only comes alive during the day, but also, if anything, even becomes more alive at 2:30, 3 o'clock when students get involved in those activities. So great start to the school year. In a moment, Mrs. Kirk's going to touch briefly on summer projects, but if there's something I missed, please jump in. Okay. Mrs. Kirk?
The list of summer projects is attached for your review. You will still have another update at the end of September to discuss any of the projects that are still in process. We have been on schedule for all of the projects that have been going on this summer. You may remember that we do have 2 bids outstanding currently. One is for the athletic improvements project, and the other is for the replacement bucket truck. Both of those bid openings will be occurring this Friday. We will have a follow-up Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting on September 11th. Representatives from Eccles Architecture will be here to review those bids. Mr. Zhang and Mr. Shoup will be here as well. And then in November, which is again on your agenda a little bit later, but we will then have our first kind of look at the updated capital funding plan at the November Finance and Buildings and Grounds meeting together as well.
Okay. Before we move on, I just wanted to thank Dr. Miller for the update. I was witness to those events, you visiting the rooms, and I was very impressed by that. And Dr. Banyas was truly moved by the sights and sounds, and it was impressive in a heartfelt manner to just see that emotion. That was very genuine. So it meant a lot to me personally, having been his colleague on the board for the number of years that I have been. So thank you all, and I saw Dr. P out there waving traffic on, and yeah, very nice start to the school year, I must say, being that my baby's in high school now. Okay, moving on. Finance, Mr. Sundo.
Item 3.01, motion to approve the financial reports dated August 28, 2017, and accounts payable dated August 28, 2017, in the amount of $923,428.49, and paid accounts for July and August in the amount of $6,991,712.09 as listed.
Second.
A motion has been made and second. Is there any discussion? Seeing that there is none, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Am I supposed to hit this thing?
No.
Okay. Just making sure. I thought we were in the Senate.
Item 3.02 is an information item. There are no budget transfers until the October meeting pursuant to PA School Code. None can occur prior to October 1st. Item 3.03 is also an information item. We will have a joint Finance, Building and Grounds Committee meeting on November 13th, 2017 at 6 p.m. Tentative topics to be discussed include capital funding, project updates, and print and copy services.
Thank you, Mr. Sundo.
You're welcome.
Academic achievement, I will let Dr. Pasquinelli and provide us an update.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Dawson. Just a brief update at our Academic Achievement Committee meeting. We started out, we talked about our in-depth program reviews of science, health, and PE. This year, one of our key strategic initiatives is around the implementation of those recommendations that we made last year. So that is something that we're really focusing on across both of those departments. So we talked about our timeline for the work that needs to be accomplished. Then we shifted into a conversation about opportunities for students to have SAT, ACT prep. Right now we offer that through an online resource called Naviance that students can access anywhere, anytime. So that's good opportunity for kids to get engaged in prep through an online resource. But we also have heard from our community that there are some that desire some face-to-face. So we are exploring some options with a company to provide that here on campus. There are costs associated with that to our families, but we see there's some real benefits for those that are interested as well. So we'll continue to move that forward. We have some questions that we want to pose back to the company, and we'll be sharing more information with the board very soon. And then we had an update on Star 360 as well, Dr. Silball.
Yes, so we discussed the universal screener for Star 360 and how we're implementing that in K to 6 as well as 7 through 12 for special education students, and how the rollout began this week with the first assessments for the kiddos. So we will be getting data on that shortly, and we discussed the implementation for the professional development sessions forthcoming for the rest of the year. So we'll have another update for the board on that as we go forward. Additionally, Mr. Hustwood also introduced the Healthy Relationships tool that we would like to be utilizing within the special education program. Do you want to speak to that for a moment?
The Healthy Relationships curriculum is an ancillary curriculum for a small targeted group of special education students that may need intensive support in the area of social skills and social skills learning.
Is that it? Any discussion? Okay, item 4.02 is Joint Academic Achievement Operational Service Meeting scheduled for October 23rd at 6 p.m. with the topics of technology, professional development, food service, and transportation. Be there, it will excite you. Moving on to Buildings and Grounds, Mr. DiTullio.
Item 5.01, my only item today, and my thunder was stolen by Mrs. Kirk, who already gave the update, that we will have a Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting September 11th. One note, it is at 6:30 start time instead of the traditional 6 o'clock start time. I think mostly because it's tough for me to get here at 6, but that's not what they said.
Thank you, Mr. DiTullio. Student Services, Mr. Stegman, would you like to do those, please?
Item 6.01, motion to approve the attendance of Ms. Barb Williams, Board Secretary at the 2017 PASA PSBA School Board Secretaries Conference in Hershey, PA.
Mr. Stegman, you on
Student
Student Services, Section 6,
Yes.
6.01?
6.01.
It says, rewind. Motion to approve the Student Services Consent Agenda items, including 6.02 through 6.10 as listed below.
Second.
The item has been seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing that there is none, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? The item has passed.
Item 6.11, for information, a reminder that the Student Services Committee meeting has been scheduled for October 9th, 2017 at 6 p.m.
Thank you, Mr. Stegman.
Mrs. Dawson, you mind just on Dr. Banyas's behalf, I know he likes to make a point of acknowledging donations.
Oh,
and
sure.
The Prof grant donations represent a number of different areas, and also to bring attention to item 6.10, again, for our community. The PTO at Richland, after years of saving, have donated $35,000 towards auditorium equipment, which is obviously a significant investment, so it's much appreciated.
Thank you so much for bringing that to my attention. Okay, Mrs. Goebel, Staff Services.
Item 7.01, a motion to approve personnel and supplemental items is attached.
Second.
Item has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing that there is none, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? The motion passes.
Item 7.02, motion to approve the attached contract of services with PAEducator.net for the 2017-18 school year.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing that there is none, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Item 7.03, motion to approve a second reading of policy 222, use of tobacco and tobacco-like products as attached.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there is none, all those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Item 7.04 is just a reminder, there'll be a staff service committee meeting held on September 25th at 6 p.m. and we'll cover hiring, onboarding, and the school district teacher academy, differentiating supervision, substitutes, and PAET.
Thank you, Mrs. Goebel. Operational Services, Mr. DiTullio, would you please assist us?
Item 8.01 is an action item, a motion to approve the pool use and rental agreement for the Pine-Richland Aquatics, PRA, for the 2017-18 school year.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Seeing that there's none, all those in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Item 8.02 is an action item, a motion to approve the repair of the high school paging system and addition of an outdoor administrative speaker in the amount of $9,940 from the Horizon Information Systems.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing that there is none, all those in favor? Yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, Mr. DiTullio. Board business. 9.01, a motion to approve the attendance of Barb Williams, Board Secretary, at the 2017 PASA PSBA Board Secretaries Conference in Hershey, PA, from Thursday, October 19th through Friday, October 20th.
Second.
The motion has been made and seconded. Any discussion? Thank you, Barb. We appreciate you, and may you enjoy your trip and learn much. We would like to vote now. Any other further discussion? Okay, all those in favor?
Yes.
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 Yes. Opposed? All right. See, I kind of prepped you up for the yes. Okay. Item 9.02 is PSBA officers. So PSBA board positions to be voted on include president-elect, vice president, treasurer, and Western at-large. Additional information on the status of the candidates are here. And I guess we have to vote. When is it due, Barb?
Not until October.
So it's not due until October. So from my perspective, I haven't had time with all the flurry of activities to look this over and bring it up at the next meeting. Any other discussion on that at this time? No. Okay. So we'll just keep that on for the next meeting. Thank you. And then election of a trustee to the PSBA Insurance Trust. So this is another election office, and there's information with this link here, and the deadline is October 12th. So any discussion on this tonight?
Well, I'll make a discussion. My brother's going to be, he is on the Seneca Valley School Board. He's been president and vice president. I will actually be seeking signatures from any board members of this board for his nomination. The trustees, there's one board member, a school board member elected in the state of Pennsylvania. That board member is currently from the eastern side of the state. I think it would be good to get some influence from the western side of the state, so I'm going to put my support behind my brother, which is not something I typically do of my brother throughout life. But no, in all seriousness, he's been a dedicated board member in the Seneca Valley School District and has a strong track record, and I think it's very important that we get some western influence of the state into this.
Thank you. Any other discussion on that? Okay, PSBA role and function. The board will discuss the role of the Pennsylvania School Board Association. So I guess I'm not 100% sure what we're supposed to discuss here, except
Just my item?
yeah.
So I was, as a school board director, somewhat disturbed by the action of the PSBA filing a lawsuit against a Pennsylvania non-Pine-Richland constituent, claiming defamation, among other things. There's information I provided to support or that outlines the PSBA's position on the matter, but ultimately my interpretation, since it was a defamation lawsuit, also claiming abuse of the system essentially pertaining to the number of right-to-know requests that this constituent has made of the PSBA as well as school districts across the state. It simply boiled down to me that the PSBA was using its position to ultimately file a lawsuit because they didn't like the name calling the constituent against them. As this organization is a paying dues member to the PSBA, I simply wanted to bring it to this board's attention and ultimately ask if it warrants a letter from this institution to the PSBA stating our position. And of course, my position or the recommendation of our position would be that we do not condone such action. In fact, we condemn such action. I think also to need them to file such a lawsuit.
So I guess this is a matter of further desire to discuss amongst the board members. So is there any input in response to Steve or this matter? I know that this matter has been one that tends to be troubling for the reasons that you said. There has been some information as to the timeliness of discussing it at this time because of the PSBA's, I guess, engagement in it. So I don't know if it would be something that you would desire to defer, Steve, or
I'm not sure I understand your point.
I think we had some information in our email today that, yeah, that the PSBA is still, I guess, dealing with how this is unfolding. So it might be premature for us to make a statement similar to the ones that have been made by other school districts.
I'll defer to you then.
Yeah. We can certainly bring it back up when appropriate, but for now, I would probably tend to defer it myself.
Okay.
Okay. Any other discussion? Okay. All right. With that, we'll move into 10.01 reports. No reports? Yeah, it was a great update. I would just, anybody else have any reports? Okay, and before we go into recognition of visitors, I would just like to say, for the sake of Mark Kashani, that it's 8:02, and this may be the shortest meeting that I've ever been to in the 10 years that I've been on the board. So, just saying. Thank you. I just wanted to get that in there because I've been sitting next to my colleague, Mark Kashani, for all these years. Okay, with that said, we'll move into recognition of visitors. Anyone would like to approach the board? We have to have some fun on this board. I mean, we get paid so well. So with that, I would like to adjourn to executive session for a personnel matter and a student matter. Thank you all, and have a good night.
I'd like to see the official clock, because we have an 8:05, but I don't know what the start time was, so, you know.
See if Dr. Miller can beat this one.